The Shed Show is proudly brought to you by McMats, the cost-effective, environmentally friendly solution for your shed floor.
Out the back, down the yard, is my shed. Have some fun, maybe hide with my friends. The Shed Show, the Shed Show, the Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on, the Shed Show, the Shed Show. Let's go. The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
G'day, Whiskers here, and welcome to The Shed Show.
Today you'll be glad all over as we meet the man and his shed behind the Shed Show sound. Meat is what you'll find in Jimmy's shed. Katrina's shed is poles apart. Phil Kiley, State President of the Victorian Men's Shed Association, gives us an insight into the great work they're doing, and we visit the shed that Jack built.
Music and sheds seem to go hand in hand, and sheds are also a creative space. And sometimes when you're watching the Shed Show, you may notice the music, but then again you may not. Have a listen now to what's going on in the background. All that music is created right here behind me in this beautiful backyard shed. Come and have a look. Gladdy! Hey! How are you, cuz? Good to see you, mate.
Just working on a song.
Just what are you doing? A bit of slide?
Yeah. Thought I'd try out a bit of slide with this new song I'm working on.
Sounds good, mate. And we've also got the crowd in the background too.
Yeah.
Gladdy and I are good old buddies, and we've played together in a band for a lot of years. And all that music you hear in the Shed Show, including the Shed Show, the Shed Show, the Shed Show, was all created in this fantastic shed here in country Victoria. Gladdy, good to see you, mate. And I can see you've been doing a bit of recording today, so it was handy when we came round for a visit.
Very, very convenient.
Of course, all that music you do, you've been playing guitar for a long, long time.
About 30 years now.
You've obviously got a bit of a blues feel about you and a bit of a swampy, rootsy flavour.
Yes, I've always been influenced by the blues since I was 15. Or actually, probably since I was 10. I didn't start playing the guitar until I was about 15. And like Conor McGregor says, there's no such thing as talent, there's just obsession. So I got a bit obsessed with playing the guitar, and I think that's what happened.
We've actually produced a couple of CDs over a couple of beers, and we didn't think they'd be that successful, but we were lucky enough to have one of our songs played on Triple J Unearthed.
Yeah, that was great.
And that was fantastic too, and we didn't expect that. And then that led to another competition where we got to record some songs, and we had to have a film clip made, which we shot in my shed, and I think in a half hour.
That's right.
And sent it through the next day, and perhaps we can have a look at that now.
Black crow, his instincts flown, savoring damage, society's grown.
So if you want to get in touch with Jason and let us come and play in your shed, the Whiskey Lizards can come around and do it.
Black crow on the side of the road.
You know, with technology today, it sort of helps out. You don't need all the equipment. You can just have a simple computer now. A bit of mic equipment, which I actually got from this bloke from doing a jingle.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, it all works out good.
Black crows are just like
It's not just a recording studio, as we said. It's almost an entertainment and family recreational area, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. It's another room for the house. Whenever there's a party at this house, mate, you can guarantee it ends up in here. Why wouldn't it?
the Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
If you want to be part of the Shed Show team, make sure you follow us on social media. Or you can check us out on the website, theshedshow.com.au.
Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
I've often said I could live in a shed, and when you see Jimmy set up behind me, you'll understand why. My wife is Italian, and I've been involved in the annual tradition of making tomato sauce. Today, though, we're going to keep the family tradition alive of making salami. Come with me.
Now, Jimmy, where did you get all this? Did you actually kill the pig for this?
In the old days, we used to kill the pig and hang it and cut the meat off and use a hand mincer, but because we're all working today and busy, we just get it from the butcher, tell him what we want. We run 2.7% salt to every kilo of meat. So for 10 kilos, we're going to put 270 grams of salt in it, which is what cures it.
We put a bit of sauce in as well.
Yeah, we use.
Are these all homemade sauces?
Oh no, I bought this lot because I haven't been making it this year. I've been slack.
We never made the tomatoes.
Oh, I made tomato sauce.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
look here. This was done in the summer. We've done probably 180 jars. Each region of Italy has their own tradition of what they put in the salamis, and this is sort of like a calabrese salami. They use a lot of this capsicum sauce and stuff.
How many do you reckon you get out of this?
Well, these ones here, when we make them, they weigh about 750, 800 grams. Get 14 or 15 out of
And I
it.
suppose the whole family gets to
Sample them, yeah.
gets to sample this, and
Take some home.
and they last you a whole 12 months before you have to go around again.
Oh, they do if each kid makes their own batch. If they don't,
So after this process,
Yep.
we mix it all up, then you let it sit for a while, do you?
yeah. So Matt's already mixed his, and his has probably been sitting for an hour or so.
The boys like a little bit more hot stuff, hot chili, fennel. Yeah,
So you're married to a hot chili woman?
yeah.
Now I know you don't want to give away any of your secrets, but what actually makes a good salami?
Good question.
You're not going to tell anyone?
Good mixture.
Good mixer. Yeah, the mixing's very important to get that right. If you don't mix it, you don't have the consistency, and then you could have patches where it's less salted or less flavoursome. But yeah, I think I might upgrade this year, get one that's electric. And then one person can control how much pressure he puts on it. The person turning the handle is pretty important, because if he goes too fast, I can't hold it and it bursts the skin. And if he goes too slow, it's, We've gone away from a lot of traditional ways of just tying them. Now we use cable ties to seal them. And these are the casings, so you buy these already made. All we have to do with these is
That's
soften.
a lot different to the way they used to come.
Oh yeah. Now we just soften these in water or wine. This is a good batch from my daughter's wedding. It didn't get drank, so it's getting used now 5 years later.
Why not?
4 years later.
Oh, that's okay.
I should keep one so I remember their wedding anniversary. That's the other thing too, Craig. You can't have any air bubbles in them, because then if you've got air pockets in them, then they go bad. So I've got a little pricker that if I see massive air bubbles or something. Beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, look at the way it fills up. That's good. That's why you've got to get the tempo right on the
Yeah,
handle.
exactly. Otherwise, it's too quick. I can't keep up, and too slow. And I've got to hold pressure on here so the meat packs in nice and firm.
I think these things taste better when you make them yourself, and do them in things like that when you've got the family around, your own ingredients.
Who's got the string? Use a cable tie.
I'll try to.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Just took an eye out.
I've got two, got one left. And then we hang them.
Beautiful. Well done.
Make a few more.
This salami's guilty. Why do we hang them?
That's the curing process. It's got to, because they're wet, so we need all the moisture to evaporate out of them.
Righto.
And these have been hanging for about 3, so these are ready to come down now and get cryovac.
When do you usually be eating this stuff? Do you whack it on the fire, on the barbecue, or how do you have it traditionally?
Well,
Cold?
these ones will be cured, so you won't be able to cook these. They'll have to be sliced up and eaten with bread or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can eat them all year round if you cryovac them and put them in the fridge. See how they got that white mould on them?
Yeah.
Well, that's healthy. If they get black mould or green mould, well, then your batch is gone. So throw them out. So this white mould's good. These will be covered. They'll look like that wall. But none of those wipe them down once, twice, and I've wiped them down once.
What do you want? Just wipe them down with water.
No, vinegar.
It really is a team effort, isn't it, to make the salamis?
The whole family gets involved, and it's good that one generation to the next it gets passed down to, otherwise it'll be lost with the oldies.
I think it's about time we go and have savour some of this and give it a sample. Have you got some from last year?
Yeah, no dramas, I've got some in the fridge. You want to give one a crack, eh?
I reckon we should.
That's homemade, all this is homemade.
Oh, I was talking.
Sheds really do bring people and families together, whether it's to make salamis or just enjoy each other's company. It's keeping traditions alive and passing on time-honoured knowledge. If you want to see extended interviews on any of the segments, just hit up the Shed Show website. Next up, Katrina sits in pole position in her shed. And we pop into a little shed that Jack built.
Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on. The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
Sheds are not just the domain of men. I've discovered a shed where the ladies take pole position. Now, I know we went to the poles earlier this year, but this is my kind of pole. Katrina originally set up this pole in her shed for a bit of fun and fitness, but since then, it's gone global. Katrina, welcome to the Shed Show. Thank you very much for coming on.
That's a pleasure.
Now listen, how did this come about? I believe this is a share house that you share with a couple of friends of yours, and how did it all come about, the shed and the whole entertainment precinct that you've created here?
Yeah, well, a few years ago I had a go at some pole dancing and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to put a pole in so that I could practice at home.
It looks like it's come out of some industrial sort of... Is it the same requirements for a pole?
No, it's actually a bit bigger, but that's okay because it still helps me with my strength.
How did your friends react, or perhaps your family, with you taking up pole dancing? Did they think, hang on, here's a new career for my Katrina?
It did take a little bit of time, and I sort of was cautious about who to tell, and the run of the things that I aimed for when I first competed so that my parents could come along was just a simple routine that sort of, didn't have any sexual connotations to it. I guess when they saw the strength that I used and the strength that is required, they realised it's about, strength and fitness.
So you're talking about pole dancing competitions and pole working out. There's so many health benefits.
Yeah.
Apart from burning calories and the self-awareness and the confidence that comes with, there's a whole bunch of other things that come. Core strength, childbirth in the future.
Yeah.
Because it does, you build up your abdominals, back strength, so for the rest of your life, this is going to hold you in good stead.
Yeah, definitely. One of the biggest things for me was my confidence.
It was for a bit of fun and perhaps a bit of fitness, but since then it's progressed a fair bit. How far has it progressed?
Well, it started when I competed in my first competition a few years ago, and I ended up placing first in my first competition.
Well, there you go. The pole came in handy, didn't it?
It did come in handy, yeah. It was just perfect. And sort of just over 12 months ago, I wanted to get some more strength, some upper body strength, so started working out in the gym, found an amazing strength and conditioning coach, and from there I transitioned into bodybuilding, and November last year I competed internationally and placed 5th in the world in bodybuilding.
Well, congratulations, and it all started from the humble shed.
It did, it certainly did.
Katrina, thank you very much for being a part of the Shed Show. Keep in touch so we know what you're going to do in the future.
Absolutely, I'll keep you informed.
The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
It's time for some more Shediquette. Hales, we've had the boys around, we've had a bit of a campaign.
That's right.
We're getting the munchies. What do we do?
Well, let's start off with a bit of kit. There's not much you can't actually prepare and cook pretty easily in your shed. So let's start off. First of all, raid the camping box. Get one of these butane stoves.
Oh, I love those.
Don't have to plug them in, little canister, away you go. Get yourself a good black pan, something like that, steel pan, happy days. Set of tongs, which you might steal from inside.
Nothing to touch with the human hands,
That's
Hales.
exactly right. A good clean paint scraper.
I hope so.
Half decent knife.
That's not a knife.
Oh, come on. And a chopping board.
A chopping board.
Also, one of these sandwich makers. Just about every household's got one. If you haven't got one, you can go to mostly electrical store.
99 cents at a garage sale, I believe.
That's right. Not much you can't cook in that.
Okay, and what's this here, H?
Well, I've had that kicking around the shed for a while, because it's a primary cover off a early Ironhead Sportster. And I thought, that'll make a pretty good serving dish.
It'll be fantastic, and it's even been chromed.
Well, yeah, some of the idiots chromed it, but anyway.
Remember, chrome don't get you home.
But you look good pushing it.
See you next time.
The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
Home is not a place, it's a feeling. And it's a bit like the shed. It's the vibe. It has a culture and a spirit all its own. 5:30 every Friday night, the boys gather in Jack's shed. Come and say g'day and feel the vibe. G'day, boys. How are we? Jack.
G'day.
Good to see you, mate. Tim the Toolman, you're everywhere. Les, how you going, buddy? Jack, you've got some great things around here that obviously you found and discovered. Where did you source all this stuff from?
Oh, we got a bit from the tip and a bit from auctions and stuff like that. Just sort of accumulated it over the years.
Well, I reckon you better give us a bit of a guide or two before we have one of those cold frothies and maybe a party pie too.
Certainly I will.
The old Shell petrol Bowser, it's a beauty. How long have you had this and where did you get it?
I reckon I've had that probably 4 years, 5 years now. I come from Perth when we One of your mates in Perth, Roscoe.
Was there petrol in the Bowser?
No.
It would have been a bit of fuel to get that over from WA.
He's a bit tight like that.
Well, I'd be patting him on the back for bringing it over anyway, Jack. What I love, Jack, about sheds, they certainly bring out the amateur inventor. You've got to tell me about this. What is it? Is it a mini train or...?
No.
It certainly looks like it.
It's a stubby crusher and a can crusher. We made it ourselves. I had a bit of hand with mate Timmy Boy, you've already met. It ended up looking like a bulldog tractor.
All right, then how does it work then, Jack? What should I do? Do I come over here?
Yeah, you go over there and...
So I get to steer, do I?
You get to steer it.
Beautiful. Okay, you tell me when. What do I do?
We'll do the can first.
I'm on the motor. Oh, here we go.
Well, you get crushed the can.
You ready? Oh!
There she goes.
Out the back. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Stubby
now
time.
we'll do a stubby.
Righto. Oh!
There
we go. Success. Well done. What do you think that sheds bring to the atmosphere?
I think it's happiness. I think it's a place to get away. You know, you need time out. I think you have to come to your shed. All the boys got to have a shed, I think.
Yeah, look, we come around here and sometimes at Jack's there could be 3 of us here, there could be 10 of us, and it depends on the time of year and what everyone else is doing, but at the end of the day, whoever's here, we can be ourselves. It's relaxed and everybody gets on, and that's what sheds are all about.
So Jack, when it is his last call for drinks, what do you actually do to get rid of the booze from your shed?
Well, I just turn around and say, out they go, boys. So I just reach over, last call. All right, no more beers after they drink the last beer, and then we go to bar is closed.
Time to go.
Time to go.
The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
If you want to be looking shed sharp, make sure you get to the website and pick up some Shed Show merch. The Men's Shed Association is providing a refuge for men all around the country. After the break, Victorian President Phil Kiley tells us how they developed and what the future holds. Plus, Nigel Parsons joins us for a shed session from the heart. Back in a tick.
Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on. The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
And we've been lucky enough today to be joined on the Shed Show by the President of the Victorian Men's Sheds Association, Phil Kiley. How are you, Phil?
Good, thanks, Whiskers.
Welcome to the show. Now,
thank you.
How long has the Men's Shed Association been operating in the country?
Look, the Victorian Men's Shed have been here since 2007, which is when we incorporated as an association. Men's sheds themselves, look, they stretch back into the early 2000s.
It's one of the largest men's support groups in the whole of the country, is that right?
Well, we are. We've got 325 sheds in Victoria around the country, and there's about 965 in Australia. The interesting fact is there are more men's sheds in Australia than there are McDonald's stores.
You see it growing even bigger?
Look, at the moment, since 2007, we've grown by about 30 sheds a year, and at the moment, we can't see that stopping.
How long have you been operating here?
We kicked it off in May 2012, and in 4 and a bit years we've managed to get over 200 people come through, and we currently have about 160 financial members.
I was going to ask you how many members you have in here, but 160, that is great, isn't it? Of course, the Men's Shed do a lot for the community. What sort of activities do you get up to here?
Well, we have woodworking, metal turning, hobby room, blacksmithing, which is probably unique to any men's shed, and we have pool room, and we're in the throes of building a new recreational room.
A couple of sheds we've been to, there's a few young fellas in there as well, and they're almost learning new skills.
They are, they're learning new skills. They're also learning a part of a process of mixing with other people. We've had sheds in the past that have had younger guys come on board and work with them. And I know of a number of instances where the shedders have helped and aided these young boys get into apprenticeships. For 40, 45 years they were a part of work, whatever that might have been, and all of a sudden you've got nothing. And the men's shed gives them the ability to get back and socialise with men, to talk with men, and we actually find that a lot of the health benefits that come out of sheds are from just blokes talking.
And that leads me into, I notice you've got a bit of a program happening at the moment called Spanner in the Works. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, the Spanner in the Works program was developed by the Australian Men's Shed Association, so the national body, and that's basically a preventative health check. We do blood pressure readings, cholesterol readings, checking for diabetes through a question and answer type practice. And if some of the numbers aren't sounding too well, there'll then be a recommendation to see your local doctor. It's just the simple things of trying to, as a group, improve the health and the well-being of men in society.
There's a lot of thing about self-inclusion, isn't there?
Look, there's a lot of self-inclusion. The VMSA are the peak body and we represent the sheds in Victoria. So we're talking with sponsors and supporters, with the governments and trying to obtain funding and provide the backup and the support for the individual sheds.
If there are some people out there who want to start up their own men's shed in their area or their region, wherever they're from, how do they go about it?
Look, there's a couple of different ways. The easiest way would be to contact our executive officer on the main VMSA number, or go onto our website, which is www.vmsa.org.au.
And we'll put all that up on our site as well.
Yeah, and that's the easiest place, and we've got a locator there that tells you where all the sheds are. The interaction that the sheds have with their local communities, local organisations, local councils, there's a lot of great things that are happening out there.
Thank you very much, Phil. Thanks for being a part of the Shed Show. We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Whiskers.
Cheers.
The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
If you want to be part of the Shed Show team, make sure you follow us on social media. Or you can check us out on the website, theshedshow.com.au.
Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
Hi, my name's Nigel Parsons. I'm doing one of my songs. It was written quite a while ago when I ended a band and my kids decided they didn't want to see me and I was diagnosed with depression. So hence this kind of song came out of the first guitar I bought to make myself feel better. It's called Black Dog. I'm in a wonderland, wondering where is your love. Will you put that spell on me? My will is weak and now it's gone. There's a black dog on a chain and it just won't die. And it still sounds free, sounds full like it's alive. The walk I take will always be long, and I've been on that road now so long. There's some black dog howling and it knows my name. There's a fading light that pain in my eyes. There's a fading light in hell and hell is opened up. There's no chance I'll see another sunrise. Oh, no. What a voice to be hearing when my hands are bleeding from the rain. And if I hear one more careless word, you're gonna know my pain. Oh, where the grass meets the sand, I'll be there hand in hand with my Savior. And I wonder what form she will take this time. I can't wait to meet her. The walk I take will always be long, and I've been on that road now so long. There's a black dog howling and it knows my name. There's a fading light and pain in my eyes. There's no saving light in hell and hell is opened up. Little chance I'll see another sunrise. Oh, what I need is forgiveness now from up above. And if friend's gonna get me high, I better hurry up. Black dog howling and it knows my name. There's a fading light and pain in my eyes. There's some saving light in hell and hell is opened up. Little chance I'll see another sunrise. There's a black dog howling. There's a black dog howling. Okay.
The Shed Show, the Shed Show. Come on.
Thanks for joining us in the Shed. Coming up on the Shed Show next week,
Arthur chauffeurs me from shed to shed. We uncover the real Tim the Tool Man. Artist Steve May proves you can hot rod anything. It's all aboard with a famous Melbourne Connie and a backdoors kid rocks the shed.
The Shed Show, the Shed Show, let's go. The Shed Show, the Shed Show, come on.
The Shed Show is brought to you by these loving people. If you'd like to sponsor the show and shed the love, get in touch today. Cheers.